Greetings YouTube, Joe here with Culination Media, and welcome back to another episode of The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. This is episode number 47, and in this episode, we're going to be taking on a mini-game for a special item before we head out into the desert. Epota, why do you never cooperate when I'm going up hilly slopes? You're a horse. Horses like hilly slopes. Get with the program. Okay, anyway, you're going to want to ride Epota down this way here into this clearing, which looks kind of like a canyon by itself. But anyway, you want to go talk to this Gerudo right here. Hey, newcomer, you have a fine horse. Why, thank you, I stole it. I don't know where you stole it from, but... Oh, Lon Lon Ranch, duh. Okay, how about challenging this horseback archery? Once the horse starts galloping, shoot the targets with your arrows. This sounds complicated. Let's see how many points you can score. You get 20 arrows. That's it? Oh, goodness gracious. If you can score 1,000 points, I will give you something good. Do you want to try for 20 rupees? Yes, we're actually going to be trying this twice. And having a limited number of arrows and also limited amount of time to do this kind of sucks. And it's not a time limit, so to speak, but it's just... Oh, God. Yes, you want to hit the pots. You can also hit the targets on the right. And the targets are a little bit harder because you have to hit them in the center, oh goodness, in order to get 100 points. All of the pots are 100 points apiece regardless of where you hit them. So obviously there's more points, more guaranteed points with the pots. But the first time we only need to get 1,000 points, and I did that pretty easily even though I was really bad. And you have one lap around this little track. Once you go around the tall target a second time, it's over, and that's regardless of whether or not you used all your arrows or not. Anyway, for our troubles of getting 1,000 points, we get a heart piece, and if you want to get on Epota, we can actually do this again for a second useful prize. Hey rookie, you're looking good, show me your skill again. Okay, I guess I will. You should set a new goal of 1,500 points and try again. Do you want to try for 20 rupees? I sure do. I sure do. So, this is a lot more difficult because if you noticed last time, I didn't get anywhere near 1,500 points. You pretty much need to hit all of these jars here, like so. I got this. I'm in a rhythm. I'm in a rhythm. Yes. All right, so that's 700 points right off the bat. We're almost halfway there. You will need to get mostly 100s off of these targets as well, which is pretty difficult. I think the maximum amount of points you can get is 2,000 because you get 20 arrows, so if you get 100 every time, that would be 2,000. So you need to get kind of sort of close to perfect. And if you run out of time, you have a little bit of time to shoot that target right there before you go around it again. Once you get back to the start after rounding that target, you're out of time. Anyway, I barely beat it. And now we're going to get an item suitable for a archery master. This quiver is very important to me. I want you to have it. And we received the biggest quiver, and now we can carry even more arrows to a maximum of 50 instead of the 40 that we used to be able to carry. Where's Epota? Oh, there she is. She's just hanging out over there. Good job, Epota. We rocked that, and I'm really, really not that good at the horseback archery, but I did pretty good that time, especially the second time. I don't think I could get a perfect score. It would take forever for me to do that. Okay, well, where are we headed now? We need to head out of the desert, actually, because I want to at least get to the Desert Colossus, because there's actually stuff that we have to do as Child Link in the desert before we can enter the Spirit Temple as an adult. It's kind of weird, like it's kind of split half and half as far as the Spirit Temple goes. You have to do part of it as a child and get a certain item before you can even enter the temple as an adult. So that part is kind of interesting. So I may do the child section and then go back and do the Shadow Temple just to mix things up. We'll see. There's really no set order to how we have to do this now because we have most of the items that we need. Anyway, we need to climb up the ladder and talk to this Gerudo here. Hey, rookie! Are you going into the desert? I'll open this gate for you, but you can't cross the desert unless you pass the 2 trials. 2 trials? I've had enough trials. I defeated all of your warriors. The first trial is the River of Sand. You can't walk across this river. After you cross it, follow the flags. The second trial is the Phantom Guide. The Phantom Guide, huh? Those without eyes that can see the truth will only find themselves returning here. You are going anyway, aren't you? I won't stop you. Go ahead. It's kind of like that second trial that she was talking about. It's kind of like the Lost Woods. If you take a wrong step and you don't go the exact way that you're supposed to go, you'll end up back at the entrance. That's pretty much all that she was saying there. And that's very true. And of course, we have the Eye of Truth, so we don't have much to worry about. We have our Lens of Truth or Eye of Truth. Go down the ladder, Link. My goodness. Okay, so we're going to make sure that we want to have that out and ready to go. We will need to use that, otherwise we won't be able to get to the Desert Colossus or even come close. Into the desert we go. And there's a giant sandstorm. The Haunted Wasteland. You're going to make sure you're going to want to make sure that you have the long shot out and you can long shot to this crate right here. If you don't have the long shot, you're not going to be able to get across there. Alright, now, we don't need the Lens of Truth just yet. We need to follow these flags. All those reckless enough to venture into the desert, we can go to the Carpet Merchant, who will just sell random items to you, which is pretty cool because you can pretty much buy anything in the game, but the problem is that they're just grossly overpriced, so you can either find them or buy them somewhere else for much cheaper, and that's why I'm not going to worry about it. So these flags are fairly difficult to locate. They are, huge, and they have the red, what looks to be like scars or red material hanging from them, but in a raging sandstorm such as this one, it's just difficult to see. If you find yourself not being able to see the next flag, I suggest going into first person mode, and you should be able to see the flag eventually. They're not that far apart, so where is this flag? Oh goodness. And I mean, as long as you know which way you came from, you should be able to at least rule that out because they don't go backwards. Okay, so once you go through those two flags there, the sandstorm subsides a little bit and you come to this area that is kind of like a building. But anyway, jump down and there is a golden Skulltula that is shielded from the sandstorm hanging out down here between two torches on the wall. You can kill it with your long shot and obtain a token. Another thing that we can do is stand between the torches, and you can use your fire arrows to light them, or you can use dense fire to light them both at the same time, and that will make a small chest appear in the center of the room. We can open it, and that gives us a cool 50 rupees. Yay! I actually needed that because I spent a little bit on the archery games, but whatever. I don't really need rupees for the rest of the game, pretty much. There's not a lot that we have to do that we're going to need rupees for. I believe there's some mini games that I have not done in, such as the Bombchu Bowling Alley? Something like that. But anyway, that is in Hyrule Castletown. I haven't done that yet. And that costs rupees, but whatever, we'll get to that later. So this little thingamajiggy there will tell you that you need the Eye of Truth. I'll be your guide on your way, but coming back I won't play. I'll show you the only way to go, so follow me and don't be slow. Apparently this ghost is our guide and he loves poetry. And he also looks kind of mean, but he's a very friendly ghost. He will not try to attack you at all. And you can even Z target him and he won't disappear or anything like normal pose will. You will have these new enemies coming out of the sand to attack you, and they're called levers. The best thing that you can do right now is avoid them at all costs. They will just keep appearing anyway, so you can't get rid of them. Even if you kill one specific one, another 2, 3, 4, 5, 8,000 of them will appear in its place. So just don't worry about it. And as far as following the ghost, if you don't follow where his shadow goes along the ground... Oh, that was awkward. I did not mean to do that. If you don't follow where the ghost's shadow touches on the ground, pretty much exactly, you're going to end up lost in the desert and end up back at the beginning. So you do need to be careful and pay attention to where his shadow goes across the ground. Once you follow him far enough, you will reach the Desert Colossus. And this is going to be the entrance to the Spirit Temple. And there's a couple of other things that we can do around here as well. There's at least one heart piece that I know of, some golden sculptulas, and a fairy fountain as well. So we're going to be keeping busy here. And like I said before, we will be coming back here as a child. Maybe in the next episode. I'm not sure how far we're going to get here, but yeah. So we have lots to do. The first thing you want to do is get bombs out and selected on the C stick. There's just enemies everywhere. Everywhere. There's guais and or guays, depending on how you want to say it. And these levers just everywhere. And they're relentless and they're infinite. They just keep coming back. Oh, that was weird. Anyway, this wall can be... Stop doing that! Stop talking to the wall. In between these palm trees, the wall can be blown up with a bomb. And inside is a great fairy's fountain. We're going to be learning the last magic spell of the game already. Mind blown. So, we're going to play Zelda's Lullaby one more time. And that is going to make a great fairy appear. There are other fairy fountains throughout the game, but they are not great fairies fountains. It's just loaded with a bunch of pink fairies that you can collect in bottles and whatnot. But I don't really like to show those because those are kind of pointless. You can find enough pink fairies in the temples and whatnot. Welcome, Colonation. I am the Great Fairy of Magic. I will give you a magic spell. Please take it. Well, you weren't really in the mood for a conversation now, were you? Like I said, this is the last spell of the game. And it's actually a really cool spell. There's just not a lot of uses for it in the game. But I don't know why. Anyway, it's called Neighbor's Love. Cast this to create a powerful protective barrier. It's defensive magic you can use with C. So, basically, foregoing the Great Fairy's description, it makes you invincible. You cannot take damage for a short amount of time, but during that time period, you cannot use anything else that requires magic, which means you cannot use fire arrows or any of the other powered-up arrows. You cannot do spin attacks, Din's Fire. Nothing that uses magic can be used while you are invincible. Also, you still take knockback damage, so you can be knocked around and fall off things. You just won't take damage from it. Anyway, we're going to stop here, guys. That's going to be the end of this episode. Thank you very much for watching, and please stay tuned for episode number 48. Game on.